to need a car, it's time to check out Tony House's Rolling Bones-inspired Deuce Coupe.
I suppose like every child growing up with their dad and that, he had a couple of cars, 58 Gold Flash and a 48 Mercury Coupe. Always remember that. I was like, out with his mates, like, how cool is that? And so, yeah, I suppose the bug was there and that was real young. Boom, here we are.
And it's a path that's not only shaped the cars he drives, but the friends he keeps.
Every car, every time you're doing a job on a car and you need someone to help you or you need to get a part or something like this, you just create friendships. And that's what it's all about, creating good memories and great friendships in cars, It's something we're passionate about and we love.
Tony's spent the last couple of decades working his way through some seriously cool cars. He's built plenty too, but while there will always be a space for a muscle car in his heart and garage, as far as hot rods go, he's got a taste for the more traditional. A run of Model A's peppered with the occasional other 30s-era Ford has led to the end goal, this real-deal Deuce Coupe.
I'm probably more towards the traditional post-war era hot rod. The Holy Grail is a steel 32 and that's what happened a couple of years ago. Surfing the net, when I should have been working as we do. Yeah, it grabbed my attention. The best thing about this car was it was an old 32 hot rod and the guy took a different direction and he got, he fell in love with the Rolling Bones, as a lot of us do. And he did the chop, so he was in touch with Keith and all that, and he got measurements and this and that. Everything was just tacked in and things like that, and I was like, wow, that's got the making of something,
While the iconic 32 has been done every which way, the Rolling Bones Hot Rod Shop of Saratoga Springs, New York, are world-renowned for their raw and hammered hot rods. Hot rods with their bobbed and pinched frames and heavily louvered bodies that look like they've come straight off the salt flats in the 50s.
I knew straight away I wanted to put a quick change in it. I wanted to dump the front end. We couldn't finish the car like a Rolling Bone style. We need frame horns here, just how they do their front end. We just can't do it over here legally. I brought in a car from Steadfast Engineering and Henry over in Ohio, he's got a recipe on how to get a car low.
And while the chopped coupe body looked the goods, the chassis would reveal the stark contrast between what will fly on the roads of Texas and here in New Zealand. The original axle, steering, spring and diff were traded, and the Steadfast formula was employed up front, including a 5-inch dropped axle and super low mono spring. Out back, a Model A crossmember was fabbed in and the new Winters quick change diff set in place. While the heavy chop had set the initial theme, Tony set about working other Rolling Bones influences into the 32, bobbing the rear and relocating a fuel tank into the trunk, clearing the way for that rolled rear pan, a crucial part of nailing the coupe's final look. Louvers were added to the rear pan as well as recesses for the taillights and exhausts. Louvers were also punched into the trunk lid. After all the time spent studying the Rolling Bones design aesthetic, come time to paint, far less homework was required.
I've always wanted a black hot rod, like a previous customer, when we're choosing colours for him, he said to me, black's for people that haven't got imagination. And true, there's merit in that, but it's what I wanted. I never had a black car myself, a black hot rod, and it just screams Henry Ford. I wanted it down low, the arse end up. So it's got a bit of that, Bonneville kind of style look to it, People who build hot rods know, it's the fun's in the building for sure, and it's just nuttering out how everything's going to go, the chassis work, the engineering work, just getting everything down pat and right. From there, the paint and all that stuff. Well, that's just painting. That's easy, I said to my painter, I just said, I want a gloss black hot rod. What colour black? Black. It's good that everyone has got their own taste. Otherwise, they would be like belly buttons, and everyone would have one. But as you can see, there's not one in the country like this, chopped like that. And I hope there won't be.
Tony's 32 was treated to a traditionally styled cockpit, the last work of regular collaborator and talented trimmer, the late Sean Horwood. Drum brakes are charged with pulling the coupe to a stop with Buick fins up front. Tony refers to the motor as a belly button shift, but it's copped alloy heads, a roller cam and MSD ignition, and it moves the rowdy coupe along rather nicely, thanks very much.
That quick change in the rear end and just screams, the whole car just screams hot rod when it's going down the street. I took it to work the other day and just people were just like, like, what's that? It's just going down what we drive and you just creep up beside them. And you don't have to go fast and you look fast.
And importantly, this real steel Henry Ford Coupe drives exactly like a period-built, hopped-up hot rod should.
A lot of people, they want a hot rod and all that, and then they get into a hot rod and then they realise, oh, they bounce around and they don't really handle that great on cross plies and this and that, but that's part of the tradition. And if you want to be in these old cars, that's just how it is, just suck it up or go and buy a Commodore,